What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel here for another Hot Toys-ish related review, because as you can see, this is not how these videos typically start out. Typically there's a nice Hot Toys package like spinning around on the turntable, and I'm having this dialogue here explaining what we're about to unbox and everything. But now this is more of an accessory bit. So as you can tell by the title of the video and the thumbnail, this is a custom head sculpt for a Slade Wilson Deathstroke figure. And I mean, you could use it for kind of anything. It is, obviously it's an unnamed third party head sculpt, but it's obviously meant to be a Slade Wilson head sculpt. So, without further ado, though, let's go ahead and just take her out of the little box here, because no, this was not a proposal to anybody. I am already married, so I am, just using that box for the reveal. So here is the head sculpt, though, and I will be bringing the figure out here here in a moment, and we'll take a look at it actually on the Hot Toys Arkham Origins Deathstroke figure, and it looks great on the figure. But taking a look at the head sculpt by itself, it looks pretty damn good. I'm actually quite impressed with how it looks. There is one thing, I'd say it is comparable, not up to par necessarily with a traditional Hot Toys head sculpt, but it is definitely comparable and is very well done. And the main reason I say it's not exactly up to par is you can see one mold, there's a casting seam from where the mold was casted that goes right across the head. You can see it going all the way across here. Thankfully, this is horizontal on the figure, so you actually don't see it, because you'll be facing the figure like this. So it's not something that really stands out. You do have to be looking for it in order to see it. But elsewise, I think the paint application is done very well. The scar is done very well at the part of the sculpt there. You can see the eye patch. It's got like its own kind of it's like another piece. It's not just painted on or anything. So there's this is its own part. It's part of the mold. What I'm trying to say. So it's not just like this is like painted on or anything. So they could have just painted the whole thing on. They did a nice job of actually like tucking the eye patch strap in with some of the hair. That adds like a very nice effect. Makes it look like it's a real thing. So it's very good. The hair paint job is pretty good as well. It is more of just kind of a standard color, like solid single color, but there is some like kind of highlights going through. There's nice texture to it. You got a nice glossy finish on the eye that has not been taken out. So it looks really, really good. I'm quite impressed, and it does look very nice on the figure itself. So again, we will bring the figure out here and put that on here in just a moment, because this was going to be a little bit of a bonus piece, and unfortunately, it didn't work out too well, because I was initially going to have a Ben Affleck head sculpt to put on one of my Batman figures. Now the problem is, which you might not be able to notice now, not quite the right size. So I mistakenly, accidentally here, bought a 1/12 scale Ben Affleck Batman head sculpt. So I was gonna have like a little square off with both of them unmasked, but I can't really do that now, and I just kind of have this random Ben Affleck head sculpt for a 1/12 scale figure. But for anybody who is interested, I figured I might as well talk about it right now. This is up. I got both of these from 1/6 kit. And this, for a 1/12 head sculpt, this is very, very, very nicely done. So if anyone was interested in this for like their Mezco 1/12 tactical Batman or what have you, this is a very good option for it. I'm not sure. I don't collect the Mezco 1/12 figures, so I'm not really sure how comparable this is or comparable it is to the regular head sculpt, or if it even did come with one. I'm assuming the Batman figure for like the 1/12 one did not come with a Ben Affleck head sculpt, and that's why there's a third party one, kind of like the Deathstroke one. And because if you remember, oh, and it does come with the neck plate too for it, so you do get that out of it and the head. So it does look really good. Thankfully, I actually did. I've been out of the 1/12 scale for quite some time. I haven't been collecting them in a while, but apparently I actually did have the Mattel 6-inch tactical Batman. So here you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like on here, and it looks really good. It's nicely scaled, even for this figure, because I know it was probably primarily made for like the Mezcos, because they're a little bit higher quality than these Mattel ones were. But nevertheless, I was glad I found this on my shelf because I have a couple shelves of all my old, 1/12 scale figures and 6-inch figures and everything. So I was kinda happy that I, like, found this just, like, hiding behind a bunch of them because I have a ton of 1/12 figures, and I just haven't collected in a while. So you can at least this one's not very articulated, but you can kinda tuck the cowl into his arm there and get kinda this look out of it, but that arm doesn't really bend too much further than that as it is, but I will say, all in all, this looks pretty decent. So if anyone was, like, curious about this Ben Affleck 1/12 head sculpt, here it is. Gives you an idea of what it would look like on your, Mezco, or even if you just wanna get it for this guy, here it is. I would actually recommend it. If you collect, like, 1/12 figures and have been wanting to get to this Ben Affleck head sculpt, I'd definitely say it's good enough to go ahead and get. It's a very, very, very nicely done 1/12 piece there. So if you're interested, there's that. I am disappointed, obviously, that, I didn't really read everything carefully enough to notice that it was a 112 when I initially ordered it, because it would have been really nice to be able to pair it with this guy. But nevertheless, if you did, speaking of which, if you did see my review for the Deathstroke, which is right here, the one thing I said that was kind of the only flaw I had for this figure is that I wish it came with a Slade Wilson head sculpt. So now I've essentially found a way to rectify that. So this just pops on quite easily. This is the exact same size. This peg is what it came with, so you didn't have to like have an additional accessory or anything for it, and it pops on there rather easily. And look at this. Look at this. Look how seamless this looks. It looks absolutely perfect. There's no seams or anything because the way they crafted the figure with the secondary neck peg in there, and it's painted itself. So it looks completely seamless and natural. Very, very nicely done, and you get a ton of articulation out of it, just like you would with the regular head sculpt. Because essentially, for the helmeted one, because it's designed the same way, it's the same kind of peg, but it looks great on here. I will obviously, I'll put them on the turntable and just have and get like a better wide shot of it so you can kind of see. But sitting here on the figure, even with this close up shot, as you can see, I think it looks pretty awesome, so I'm definitely glad I went ahead and bought it. I'll put a link to, like, 1/6 kit in the description if you're interested in getting any of this stuff, but I do have one more thing to share before I get it on the turntable and we take a better look at the head sculpt on the figure. I also bought this to go along with the head sculpt. Now, this is a bust that you can display your head sculpts on, obviously, and it's nicely battle damaged here. You got a little bit of hair on his chest. I've primarily seen this with like some Hugh Jackman Wolverine head sculpts because it does kind of suit very nicely for it with like the bullet holes, veins, the hair on the chest, and just like the general battle damage look. But I initially got it for that head sculpt there because I figured the armored helmeted head sculpt for Deathstroke is so good, like, I didn't really know if I was gonna actually not display him with this on there just because of how awesome it looks, but I went ahead and got this anyway because I figured, you know what? I still think it would look good with something eventually, and what I did find is that it works rather well with your Heat Vision, Henry Cavill Justice League head sculpt. So you do have to take out the LED portion, and what I ended up doing is just putting in a little bit of paper towel. Elsewise, it sits, like, very, very low on the neck piece, but as you can see, the skin tone for the head sculpt actually matches the body fairly decently. Now, you can see it is slightly different. It's the body's a little bit darker and got a little bit more of an orangish tone to it rather than this one. I mean, they're both fairly tan, so thankfully, they match pretty well, but as you can see, they do go quite nicely together. It suits it perfectly, like Henry Cavill had a little bit of hair on his chest. You could say, maybe he was just exposed to some kryptonite and that's why he's got the wounds on him. Who knows? Who cares? Maybe he's fighting Darkseid. Who cares? You don't have to explain it. You don't have to get too much into it. It's your display. But I figure for now, it generally goes with the theme of the angry face. Now, I'm telling you, it actually in these lights, you can definitely see like the difference in skin tone a lot more than you can under normal lighting. Because elsewise, like it's pretty inconsequential when there's not like 8,000 lumens of white light shooting down on this thing. You can't really tell the difference. Like, it looks pretty good, they look pretty similar. Now, like I said, I put this in there just because if you don't, it kinda sits all the way down on the neck, like, onto his traps, so it doesn't really work out too well. But elsewise, though, I like this here. This is a great little, bust display. Only problem is this peg that it does come with, just to warn you, it's too large to fit in, like, this peg, so I wasn't able to use the Deathstroke head on it, and that's why I decided, "Oh, well, try this one," and, it worked out pretty well, so there's that. So now, I'm just gonna bring out the turntable and, just so we can get some wide shots of the Deathstroke, uh, with the head on Deathstroke and, kinda wrap this thing up. All right, so here we have him, guys. I got him on the turntable here so we can take a little bit closer look and I'll kind of get my final thoughts on everything. So, in the end, as you can see, it looks great on the figure itself. I'm going to cut to a wide here and you'll see, full frame. It looks really good. It's perfectly to scale. One of the great things here too is that you don't actually have to worry about it matching any sort of skin tones or anything because every little piece of, Deathstroke's actual skin is completely covered by his outfit, so there's nothing on his neck or anything. That's what I kinda commented on in the beginning because they have that, like, suit on his neck piece, it makes this interchangeable head sculpt, like, perfectly seamless, and like I said, if you go back and, watch the review I did of this video, that was my only complaint, my only detractor from this figure in any way, shape, or form was that I just kinda wish it woulda came with a Slade head sculpt. And as you can see, this is why. 'Cause, I mean, this is an incredible shot. And here you can see too, you can still have him hold the helmet, because you will run into the issue that, that eye is on the helmet, right? You have the eye exposed on the head sculpt. So if you just have him holding it backwards like that and sitting on the shelf, I mean, you wouldn't be able to see the eye sitting there. You could always get creative and I don't know, get a piece, cut out a little tiny piece of black, like construction paper or something and pop it in, but you can have the helmet sitting sideways there and that will completely cover it up. I kind of liked, having it just facing backwards just because you just get it looks you get the contrast of the orange on the backside. And there you go too, I threw those 2 at the end of it just to kinda show you, like, the Superman head sculpt on that body looks really good, like, the skin tone matches very well. So, you do have the kind of the continuity issue in your own head canon of, like, why is there battle damage on Superman if you're having that bust hold the head sculpt? But like I said, man, just if that kind of stuff bothers you, just say, he was fighting someone who could damage Superman. There's a dark side can damage him. Maybe it was Batman with a kryptonite bullet or something, and just roll with it. That's just continuity issues in your own head. It's just a cool looking bust. So, but hell, you could find something else to display the head sculpt on. I just thought realistically, it was really the only one I had handy just because, as I showed previously in the earlier on in the video, the ball joint for that neck piece was a lot bigger than the most of the head sculpt pegs, or, that the Hot Toys ones I have rather. God, I'm stumbling over my words right now. But yeah, I preferred having the helmet if I was gonna have him in that pose holding the helmet. I liked it backwards just because you see the orange. Because if you have it completely sideways, that blue shade just kind of melts into itself on the chest piece. So having a little bit of that orange exposed makes it just pop a little bit better, my opinion. But in the end, I love the head sculpt. Like I said, I'll put the link to 1/6 kit down in the description. This isn't any sort of promotional thing or anything. I'm just for anybody who wants it. That's where I got it from. They should still have some. I guess the only detractor I really have for that one was, that you could see the mold across the top of it, but like I said, if you're looking at it dead on, you won't see it. If you have it in a case, you're standing a foot away from the thing, to, like, at best, even look at it, you're really not gonna see it. I mean, as you can see even right here, like, it's kind of hard to see there with, you know, 8,000 lumens of lights beaming on it, like, it it's there, but it's not something you notice. When you're looking at it dead on, you can't see it at all. So, but guys, let me know what you think down in the comment section below of the head sculpt if you have it, or did this video make you want to get it? And also check out 1/6 kit because I did get this stuff all from there. I got the bust from there. I got the Ben Affleck 112 head sculpt and this all from 1/6 kit. They all have like free shipping on the website. So if you've never heard of it, go check them out. They have a bunch of like third party and custom pieces that kind of for on 6 scale and 1/12 scale and everything. So, but guys, let me know what you think about it down in the comment section below. And do not forget that every Monday, our show, Honest and Uneducated, goes up. We talk about movies, movie news, video games, comic books, collectibles, all sorts of fun stuff like that. You can submit topics and questions that we'll address on the show by emailing us at honestanduneducated@gmail.com. That's honestanduneducated@gmail.com. And every Wednesday is when these collectible reviews go out. I get one out every week at least. So stay tuned for that. I'll have another, probably a full figure review. I don't think I have any other special custom pieces coming in like this in the coming days. So it'll probably be another full figure review. So look out for that next Wednesday. And then every Friday, we normally do some live streaming. So if I have any new pieces come in, I'll do like a figure unboxing and kind of preview live on stream on Fridays. And then we'll talk figures. We'll talk right now. We'll give like our first spoiler kind of review, discussion, and impressions on the Bad Batch because that's coming out every Friday as well. So come hang out with us every Friday normally around like 8:30, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So I apologize for any of my, Pacific time folks. It's getting pretty late out there, especially for the UK folk out there. So, but nevertheless, come by, hang out, and come chill in the chat and what have you here. We do right here on the YouTube channel. And then our show is also a podcast form. So search Honest and Uneducated on Spotify or Apple, whatever whatever platform you use for podcasts. It is there if you search Honest and Uneducated. So, with that being said, though, again, let me know what you thought about the head sculpt down in the comment section below. Do not forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content or like the video or whatever. Share it around, do all that sorts of fun stuff. But until next time, guys, take care.